Hello, everyone, on the Martini channel. I'm here, on the Martini channel. Best intro ever. Well, anyways, today it's gonna be a special day. I'm here with Fleskhjerta,
Hello.
and today we're gonna play some Boblox. That's right.
We are gonna be playing some Roblox here.
Exacto mundo.
Definitely Roblox. So you know what? How about I just get this thing started by just opening up, the game right now?
Yeah,
And
it's a special version of Roblox.
it does say that it is a Fleskhjerta game. That's me. That's me who made that. Hey, it's my work.
Oh yeah, here. It's this. Oh, Boblox Boll. That's right. Look at this. It's totally Roblox with a
This
B.
is totally Roblox. Definitely Roblox. It is made by me, granted, but it's still Roblox, right?
Yeah, it's made by the one and only Fleskhjerta.
Exactly.
Look at this. This is so beautiful.
And so, how about we get started? I'll just press start about now and just get into the gameplay.
Also, original title screen music.
Of course, original indeed. And of course, I get this background too.
The red one. Yeah, I also got the red one. So this is the gameplay loop. This is better.
This is way better than normal Roblox.
I'm already screwing the pooch on this one.
Oh, you are?
Yep. Yeah, Boblox Boll. You hit the ball. Try to get rid of the top blocks.
Yep. Remove the top blocks to clear the wave and, go as far as you can. And, make sure that neither you nor the ball falls off the bottom.
Yeah, I did it on a test run. So it's basically Arkanoid.
It is essentially Arkanoid, except without any sort of enemies nor power-ups. It is basically Breakout, except you control your character like a platformer.
Okay. You took some inspiration from Anton Ball.
Probably.
No, level 2. Oh, yeah, you have a difference. I see.
Yep. There are a total of 7 different patterns of blocks you can get above. I could have made more, but, I wanted to ensure that the game, was, polished enough, so I just went with, 7, just, left it at that. Maybe in a future update, I might add more, who knows?
Yeah, if we get a lot more likes on this video, who knows? Richard will consider some more levels and some more, fancy schmancy stuffs.
Oh, and also, I can also say this about the backgrounds. The backgrounds, in every section is randomized, so you will get a different background, normally each section, but, there is only a total of six different variants. And of course, we both got the red one, which, it looks a little ominous, doesn't it?
Yep.
Doesn't those in the background kind of look like flames?
Looks like.
Can you guess where we are?
In hell.
Yes.
I'm dead already. Shit.
You died already?
Yeah, there's like a staircase.
Alright.
You lose. Oh my god, that's funny.
You lose.
That's... No, I got the dark purple one.
Wave 4. So, more info I can give about this game. So I pretty much made this one in a little less than 3 days.
In 3 days, you can create this.
Yes, in 3 days. Granted, for all the like movement stuff with your character, I just copy and pasted, the majority of the code from the previous game. Everything else I just, made from scratch though. Because,
Yeah, the way you move with your character, you use the arrow keys.
Yep, you use the arrow keys. You press Z to jump, and you hold X to run. Yes, I added a run button.
Shouldn't you run automatically?
Normally, that would be something that you should do. However, there's a reason I did that. It is so that, as you run into the ball or, run and jump into the ball, you send it a little bit faster than normal.
Ah.
It is a way for you to control the speed of the ball. If you want the ball to run a little bit faster, then, move a bit faster, then you can just, hold down the run button and just run into it.
I always run.
That's fair, but, there is that. On top of that, you can send the ball, with, not straight up, but in a, slower, but also kind of more straight upwards angle by just standing still and jumping into the ball. So yeah, just don't move at all and just jump into the ball and, you send it, on the, higher angle. It is a bit awkward, but that's the fun of it.
This pattern.
On top of that, each wave, the ball gets a little bit faster. So good luck, on anything past wave 6 or something.
Or wave 7, 6, 7.
There we go. Oh, this one. Okay, cool. Dang it. Well, my, top layer of my bottom platforms is almost, broken up now. Now they are completely gone. Alright, cool.
Also, what's the theme of, the music of the gameplay?
The main theme of the game is actually from a completely original thing, as in, it is from Wrecking Crew 98, I do believe the name was.
Yeah. Wrecking Crew 98.
Something of that sort. Might be 94. I forgot exactly the title, but it was something 90-something.
I hear da-da-da-da-da-da, so it reminds me of Mario.
That's fair.
So it's kind of related.
Kinda related indeed. Roblox fans will do anything but look into games other than Roblox. Indeed. Well, I died.
You suck.
Also,
Yay!
By the way, on your first death, Martini, was it just you falling off or the ball, falling off?
I think it was me falling off.
All right, so you did hear about the little detail about the downwards whistle, and you just hear,
Woo! Yep.
right? That was like a little sound detail I just knew I just had to add on that one in particular. Just make sure that you just have that downwards whistle and just with the thumb afterwards. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Oh hey, here's a normal background that you normally get. This sky background. We are no longer in hell. One thing I can say though, also, with this version that we are playing, We are currently playing the normal, Game Maker version, which uses, like Game Maker Studios 2. This game was actually originally developed for Game Maker Studio 1, the previous version, since, I'm more comfortable working with that one. And then ported over to the new one. To ensure that it runs, performs well on modern computers. As in, Windows 10 and 11.
Yeah, that's fair.
The downside is that sometimes you get some weird bugs, on the that happen during the conversion. Some of it kind of happened there, which is like the ball hit the side of the blocks, and yet they didn't kill the blocks for some reason. Because converting games is weird. Don't worry too much about it. It's still playable.
Yeah, that's the downside with, deal with operating systems and such.
Exactly.
If you want to convert, especially if you have like old software, like gaming software, things tends to be dicey spicy. Installing, imagine, how do you install Roller Coaster Tycoon on, modern devices? It's not that hard, but it's gonna get harder with Windows 11.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is a, let's just say, I've heard about things. It's a beast of its own.
Oh, most definitely.
I haven't installed Windows 11, and yeah, my next computer is definitely gonna be Windows 11. So, oh boy.
Huh? Oh boy, indeed. I heard a lot of issues with that one.
Yeah. At least my dad has a Windows 11, so far he's not having issues with it.
What an interesting version of Roblox, says Lone Logaro. Indeed, so.
It's most definitely.
Look at this.
You know what? Next time, for we play a Boblox or related game, we're gonna play better Space Explorers.
Oh boy.
How about you create better Space Explorers?
I don't want to spoil things, but that may or may not actually happen.
Maybe a new project.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah, it will be funny.
It would be.
Well, here's the thing. Try and make a sandbox game out of that fan project.
Oh no.
That would be very ambitious.
Oh, you don't say. Yeah. Allow me to just make a sandbox game in 3 days. Alright, sure.
Oh shit, I fell again. Oh, I made it to wave 5.
Nice. That is about where I, got, on my first try as well. Also, while testing, the game and all that, just play testing it, I don't think I ever got any higher than, 90,000, score. So, yeah. If you can beat that, then, congrats. So, yeah, what more can you say about this?
You know what would be really funny? Space Explorer, but friend slop.
Oh no. I'm sure someone will make that eventually.
Someone should make that.
Right, so far so good.
I mean, Richard is Swedish, so Swedish tend to make friend slop games.
Somehow, some way, they all tend to do that. I'm not sure why, but you know what? it is good that at least it's ways of making something interesting, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, well, wrong way. There we go. Wave 4. And now the ball gets a little bit faster.
Oh shit. Well, I'm dropping the ball a bit on that one, so I have this like gibbity martini gaps.
Great.
Yeah, this game has also martini gaps.
Indeed. You can make the gaps by, you know, just sucking at the game. You know?
True.
At least you don't lose a life the moment you miss the ball once.
You get an instant game over.
No, you get an instant game over if you fall down, but at least you get some layers that protects you before you get that game over.
Yep, which is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
go on.
Yeah, and if there's like gaps between the layers, you have to jump in order to reach that spot.
Yep. Meaning,
So
you know, one small mistake can lead to, you know, a lot.
Lead to inconveniences, let's just say.
Yep.
Unless things are flat, then sure. But you have to work with one less layer. So
Yep.
this game has layers.
Indeed, it does. It definitely got something going on there, which, like, you know, that was, like, one, like, you know, little idea that I had. The moment I, like, had the idea to make it's essentially like a breakout clone, was the fact that, okay, I do want, like, to add this platform and, you know, like, you know, just aspect to it, but, like, how do I go about making it interesting? And then, like, I suddenly had the idea of, what if I add a breakable, like, floor? And I knew I, like, was onto something, you know, interesting then. And so it just kind of became a case of working, you know, what, like, you know, with that concept, you know, and so I ended up on this.
Yeah, I also love the fact you use the Roblox Snoop with the motorcycle shirt and jacket.
Yep.
Character without the noodle hair, or like the
yes.
bacon hair.
Without the bacon hair that, you know, some people, you know, really like, because, like, I just sort of went like, okay, so the character is, like, loosely based on the Fleskhjerta, you know, character on that one, yes, without the, like, blue colors, which is just, you know, the, like, bacon hair, you know, like, character,
Yeah.
but, you know, without the hair and just made blocky and just, you know, like, having light blue colors. But, you know, I wanted this one to be a little bit more distinct from that one, so I guess, like, made the colors white. Essentially made it the bacon hair, just without, you know, the actual bacon hair.
Yeah, and more white.
Exactly. Because this guy should not be allowed to have the pass.
Definitely not. We gotta make sure that noobs never get the pass.
Exactly. Wave 7.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Or wave 7, jeez. That's a breakout moment.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have a breakthrough.
And now the ball is really fast too.
Got way too fast. Yeah, last week we did that.
Yep. And it definitely was an interesting stream for certain.
Yep. We like Sonic Adventure 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you know, an era. A game of
It
its
was
era.
definitely part of a, you know, an era indeed.
Very iconic game, I have to say.
Oh yeah. Okay, standard, formation this time.
Like, it's not the best game by any means, but it is a. It really defines the era of the 2000s, like early 2000s.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if you thought that one's is a bit rough, then wait until we get to the later games, right after that one.
Sonic 06, anyone?
Oh, I am fumbling.
Yeah, I was fumbling on the Wave 3, like, jeez.
I am fumbling on Wave 8. I have a gap now that I can fall down if I'm not careful.
Yeah, you have a Martini gap, so that's gonna be fun.
Oh no.
Like, I have a Martini gap in the making.
Okay, Wave 9. Oh. It's over. It's so Wow.
Ripperino.
7,030 points. That's a high score right there.
Wave 4.
Alright. Let's see here. Oh, hey, green background. Oh yeah, one more thing to mention. You can pause the game by pressing enter.
Pause.
Pause. You can also press escape and, you get a prompt if you want to go back to the title screen or not. It also functions like a pause, but, you get the option to just exit.
Oh, I have a Martini gap.
Which, let's do that briefly so I can see. Okay, still got the green background. I think that one is dependent on the...
fell into the Martini gap.
Okay, different background. Oh, and also, just like what the tutorial text on the side says, you can press backspace to, like, remove that text.
Yep.
Because it is nice to just have a tutorial that you can just remove at will. But at least, it's there to give, players instructions on what the fuck they're supposed to do.
Also, you move with the mouse arrow keys, by the way.
Yup.
That is not in the tutorial, I do believe.
It is not, but I just presume
the mouse. The key arrow keys.
Arrow keys, yes. Which I just presume that people would just try that out. I was really hasty when making the text. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, and also now over to the purple background.
Purple. Yeah, I'm on the green one still.
Oh yeah, fun fact about the backgrounds. I drew all of those backgrounds.
Oh, and yeah, then you made it blurry.
Yes, so essentially what I did was that I just drew just some random stuff on the background, and then I blurred the image, and then just used that. And that's how these backgrounds were made. Now, as for this purple background, which, I don't think Martini has my POV.
I have your POV.
Okay, but yeah, so what can you tell me about where do you think we are at the moment?
In some dark place.
Something of that sort, like
in a cave.
Could be anything. It really could be anything, although I can say this, as I made these ones and, put them in the game, I did, mentally, made out some, keywords for, more or less all of these. I just call this one Void.
It also reminds me of the Shadow Realm.
Good, where will you all be that?
I banish you to the Shadow Realm.
Oh, that's a big combo. Oh yeah, by the way, the game has combos.
Yep.
Which is just, how many blocks it hits before it, like, hits either you or the floor below you. Which, each time, it makes a hit to increase the combo, you get more points. So, try to get combos if possible, if you want, more points.
Yeah, try to hit it sideways. Combo 3.
Which, you can get the sideways one by just simply holding down the run button and run into the ball. Without jumping.
Yep. Oh. Tried to do something fancy and missed the ball.
Okay,
Whoops.
that's a good combo.
Well, I have like a... Oh, almost create a martini gap by doing that.
Almost. Something tells me I'm gonna have a fun time if I remember to do so, to like check out your POV later. Just so I can see how you are faring.
Yep.
Let's see, what else can I say about, the development of this one? Oh, that's a nice combo. That doesn't happen often. Anyways, where was I? Hey, the Use, how's it doing? You saying, imagine the 1.5.1 introduces power-ups and Martini Purge just turns your ball explosive for the next hit. That's a really good idea. I may just need to take notes for later. But yeah, like, I'm fairly certain no one could have predicted that the next, April Fool's game project would just be a breakout clone, right?
Yep.
You know what they say, always keep them guessing. Always make your opponent keep guessing your next move.
Yeah.
Never let them know your next move.
That's how you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day.
Exactly.
Which we still have yet to do. And I will build a deck for Richard, and it's gonna have a lot of fish.
A lot of fish.
The 7-color fish is gonna be your ace monster.
Also, of course I get in this pattern, twice in a row. Which, granted, it is good for combos, so, at least I got that.
I never got that pattern before.
The one that looks like a Roblox player?
Yeah, not having that pattern yet.
RNG do be funny sometimes.
Very funny.
Oh, I messed up. That should have been a hit. Curse you, Game Maker 2, conversion jank.
It should have been a hit. Blame it on the game.
Exactly. Oh wait, I made the game.
This fucking stupid fucking game. Oh wait, I created myself.
Oh wait, I made this one. I'm the creator.
The creator is such a dumbass. Cannot develop anything for shit,
Oh yeah, that does remind me. Coding the ball should have been a pretty easy thing to do. However, there were some funny things in regards to that. So, I had the option to just go with the standard, Game Maker built-in variables. However, it caused a rather interesting bug. And that bug is, after a certain amount of hit, the ball would just get stuck in the wall.
Cool.
So I just had to be like, great, how do I fix this? So I had to create my own, like, sort of variable and, like, just to ensure that the ball, you know, behaves properly. Yeah, thanks, Game Maker. Oh no. I missed the jump.
If Richard fails in a game, regardless of if it's a game or not, it's always going to be a skill issue.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Unless he's going to blame it on
Uh-oh.
Game Maker Studios.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm in danger. I'm in danger, Martini. Do you see my predicament?
Yep. Have fun. You're gonna be in the Shadow Realm pretty soon. Or the ball is gonna be in the Shadow Realm.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh shit.
No. Okay. No! Wow. That's a high score at least. 7,620 points. Also, shout out to this, like, you lose screen. And you
Yep.
can definitely see the seams of the letters. Where, like, you know, yup, that is, like, you know, you can tell how I drew these.
Yep.
Because the seams are, like, you know, a little thicker than the others.
You lose.
You lose. That also reminds me, one thing I did,
Oh, yeah.
like, go on.
I have the Roblox, pattern. Character pattern.
There you go. Nice. Oh yeah, also, one thing that I did think about doing, but like thought about it immediately as I compiled the build, was that, so there's like no way to like see your score the moment you get to the screen. Oops.
Oops, I let the ball drop. And then you die.
Then you die. You just explode if you let the ball drop.
Yep, you lose.
So you can definitely like make some sort of like like dumb thing about like this game is like essentially just purgatory for our like Roblox play here, because like again, in what sort of dimension is he in? He's just stuck here in a like box, like in like in the heaven or something, constantly and having to keep the ball like bouncing up and down.
Yeah, what a horrible fate.
Exactly.
But still
It's
better than being in real Roblox.
True. As he's saying, honestly, Arkanoid isn't the worst afterlife. You know what? That's fair too.
Yeah, you could do much worse.
could
Your
do
whole
much
afterlife
worse
is
than
is playing Arkanoid, and that's it.
Though and also the the interesting idea of like this liminal space where like you just like in this like just like pattern of blocks up in the sky somewhere, and this is your life now.
Yep.
It is funny. It is pretty funny, to say the least. But yeah, one more thing I can say though, to add on to that thing Duke said, I did think about adding power-ups, to this one as well. However, I chose not to do it out of time constraints, because like I feel like I would just be stuck for like several days just trying to think of good power-ups to add in.
Yep.
And of course, I needed this one out at some point, so I chose not to include them. But Maybe in a future update I may do it.
Yeah, we could. You can actually update this.
And you saying true, you could be playing Roblox instead. Yeah, that's a much worse fate.
True.
So yeah, like I did sit here and think about like, what sort of power-ups could I add to this? And like, like I did like look over to like actual Arkanoid to just see if I can get some ideas. And some of the stuff I saw there would only make things worse, such as, how about you add multi-balls?
Oh, multi-balls, yeah. You have to then insert a version of Arkanoids, but multi-balls in this one? That's actually a disadvantage.
It's a curse. More than anything, it ruins you.
Having curse items would be like like a fun one to do. Like, sure, it can benefit you, but it can also ruin you.
Huh? I could do that.
There's
Make
always
sure
a
that
catch.
losing even one multi-ball just results in a game over. Due to the way that the ball is coded at the moment, that's exactly what would happen.
Yep. You're stuck with two balls.
That is exactly what would happen if I were to add that power up. Without changing the system.
Yeah, basically you stuck with two balls like any man. Controversial.
And like, more than that, like, now you're up to 3 balls. Now you're fucked up.
No, you're a clown. Juggling.
Exactly.
Yeah, you should also then change the Roblox character that have a red nose when that happens. And clown hair. Because you're a clown now, you're juggling.
And make sure multi-ball stacks. Oh no.
I don't know.
This is evil. I should take notes.
You should also take notes with, customizing your character. That would also be fun.
Maybe. Oh.
Yes, you can hear me saying, this guy should have a dominant crown.
Great. To be fair, it probably won't be that hard to just add hat.
Yep. Put some vanity items.
Vanity items that you have to fulfill certain achievements to unlock. Domino crown unlocked by getting a 100 times combo. Actually impossible.
True.
Meaning if you were to have one, you would be hacking the game at that point to just make sure that you can wear one.
Yep.
Oh yeah, one more thing I did think about doing, for this one, but like, could not think of a good way to make could not find like any sort of way to make good use of it. Is that I was also debating of adding the little sheet menu from the previous one as well, where in the first better Roblox, if you press F, you get this little box that you can type in a code into, and depending on what you're typing there, some sort of sheet may be activated. So I did think about doing that as well, but I could not think about a good sheet for this, so, I just left it out for now. Anyways, what were you saying?
Maybe if you control there's like a cheat. Maybe if you make a cheat that somehow makes you control the ball with the mouse, that will be interesting to program. Sort of similar, like the space, on Windows XP, you have like a Space Pinball 3D. There's like a hidden like cheat. If you type hidden test, you can actually control the ball with your mouse, and you can basically cheat.
I see. Oh boy, this is a dicey, spot to be in. Oh yeah, one more thing I can also mention with the Game Maker Studios 1 version of... I lose.
Go lose.
I made it to wave 8 at least.
I never came that far.
So, right. I can also say this. So, in the Game Maker Studios 1 version of the game, there's a fun little thing there that at least happened on my older, computer. But, it may be different for you, which is the fact that for some reason, like, the sound of the ball bouncing is a little delayed. I could not figure out why, but it's just delayed on that version. So, And then the moment I imported project over to the modern version of Game Maker, it just works. Like, as intended. Like, it just plays perfectly as it hits the object. Like, oh, okay. Sure, I guess. Like, what? I don't get this program sometimes. I don't get it. So yeah, there you go. There's some little random trivia for you there. Anyways, back to wave 1 in the void. Or at least, what I call the void, These backgrounds are still yet to have proper names, so, they can just be called whatever you feel like.
Yeah, I will call this the Shadow Realm. Because Yu-Gi-Oh!
Makes sense to me. So yeah, anything else that you can add on to this? Any thoughts?
This is just great. If Roblox doesn't do it for you, you should play this one instead. It's just like a silly game. It's crazy that you can actually create this game in like 3 days with the software that you have access to. Like, usually this shit back in the day takes, a lot of time to create.
Usually, yes.
Like, I can't imagine the break. I can't imagine it took quite some time to create a Game Boy game like, Breakout from the Game Boy back in the day.
Yep. Now, granted, on Game Maker, Breakout clones are, kind of like, they're not exactly that hard to make, but the fact that you can make one in such a short time, does say something.
Yeah, technology has been progressed quite a bit when it comes to game development.
And on top of that, I do in fact have like a natural degree in game design too. So, I have experience.
Yeah,
I just not done any actual professional work outside of one volunteer project.
Oh,
Where I, more or less the lead developer of said game.
Yeah, this makes me kind of wonder. What type of you have like a degree on game design? Do you have any ideas what type of game you want to make on your own? Have you actually considered indulging more into game development?
I have like multiple times done that. Plenty of times. It's just a case of like I have plenty of ideas. Most of them are a little ambitious, so like it's a case about like I may get to those at some point, but nothing like really set in stone. And considering how like my other schedule is at the moment, it may take a while before I get around to any of those projects. Considering how like how much time is like spent making projects for YouTube and streaming at times.
Yep.
On top of some minor family stuff, so it's like stuff I've been like planning in the background, but like not done much serious work into. But I have thought about it multiple times.
Yeah. Maybe you should start something small and then let's see where it goes. Like try to create a small project. Let's see how it goes.
I do have something on that sort, plans of that sort, but I won't spoil anything at the moment because
Okay.
I have plans, and they just not ready to be announced at all because at the moment they are just ideas.
We can also signal boost these projects during the streams as well. So this could be like content for me as well and for you.
True. Ah, dang it.
I mean, it will be interesting if you get into game design and meanwhile I'm playing your games, testing it out and such.
True. Okay, that's a decent combo. We have to destroy the little Roblox guy up on top. We are gonna need to kill this guy.
In a video game.
Dang.
Also, I got the blue, dark blue background. It's probably like nighttime.
I guess that one, the dark blue one, which if you look very closely,
these looks like
you can
bubbles.
tell where it might be in. Go on.
This looks like bubbles a bit.
A fun fact: they are intended to be bubbles.
Is this the ocean, like the dark, deep ocean?
It might just be that.
I'm under the sea. Under the sea.
A lot of like the backgrounds are left up to personal interpretations, but that one I did draw essentially something resembling bubbles and then just blurred it and just okay, people will just figure out what it is on their own, I'm sure. As I am fumbling hard on wave 5.
Yeah, the farthest I went is wave 6.
I furthest got to like wave 8 and that's about it.
Très bien.
And again, I'm still yet to like get to like a score of above 10k personally.
5 digits.
The one thing I can say about like this project is the fact that I most definitely was onto something interesting with the breakable floor.
Yeah. That was
definitely onto something interesting with that one.
Yeah, at least it's different from all the other, breakout games.
Exactly.
Dude, that also reminds me playing the Arkanoid game or like a breakout game. I've actually got ACD full of Arkanoid games like freemium, package, like demos. You remember those?
I think I might remember.
Yeah, there's like some sort of a. You can actually buy those from a shop, but it's actually like freemium shit. But you have so many games.
Also, hello there, Luigi Mario. How's it doing?
That could also be a stream ID, just me playing those freemium slop of Tetris games and Breakout games, because I've also won for Tetris.
Oh.
But what was you about to say? You wanna say something?
But just, like answering chat. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, there's a big hole you have there.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, that's a giant hole. Everyone can
I'm in trouble.
Can come in.
I can barely. Oh well. I fell. I slipped.
You slipped into the hole. That's the wrong hole, Richard.
I lose. This game. This game I made it. This game. That was a skill issue on your part.
It's always.
I made the game. I made the game myself, so that's fair. For once, that is fair, Ukes.
Is it badly designed, or are you a terrible gamer? Either way, you're always at fault.
Preferably the latter.
And then Richard is gonna blame it on Game Maker Studios.
Because that's what every game developer does, is just blame it on the software. Because, like a lot of games are made on these engines like Unity or Unreal, and then like you have no idea how jank those softwares are at times.
Oh, this pattern I haven't got the one. It's with the diagonal patterns.
You're gonna make Roblox Boll 3D later, and like an arcade free of charge like Roblox. I don't think I can make that much, but a 3D one would definitely be something. Come to think of it, I may have some ideas how to make an actual 3D one, but I'll just save that, for a different time. Ah, yes! Now I get this background.
Just gray.
Fun fact about this one, this is just like a default background, stuff, which is like, remove all the actual, external, backgrounds made for this, and this is just how the actual playroom looks like. Just a plain gray background. You see those red boxes? That is just what the solid in areas look like without the special textures added on top of them.
Okay.
So yeah, this is just essentially just developer mode, the background. Because if you were to extract all the assets of the game, and you go and see the object that is for these solid walkable areas, they look exactly like these red X blocks. Exactly like that. I added this one in just for fun. Because why not? Why not just have a background that's just the default, developer, background? Aren't I silly? Aren't I just a really silly developer?
Yeah, of course. Oh, the ball is very fast.
Some more like design stuff I can also mention. So one thing I do know I can say on a like designer front is the fact that the game definitely has like, I won't call it a problem, but it's definitely something that, you know, you have to keep in mind, you know, design wise, which is the fact that it kind of got a bit of a like, you know, snowball effect, you know, the moment you make a mistake, because let the ball hit one of your like floors once and it will like immediately starts a snowball effect, you know, where like, you know, that one mistake can lead to many more mistakes.
Yep, you have to deal with that.
So like, you know, it sort of becomes this like a little case of, well, now you like, okay, you mess up once, so now the game is going to get a lot harder, and mistakes are going to keep piling up because you have to keep in mind the gaps you're left behind by, you know, your mistake. It's not as bad as like the Gradius effect, but you know, it is still something you have to keep in mind with this one. And like, on one end, you know, some people may, you know, have some issues on that, but I think that's an interesting just thing to like have. You know?
Yep.
Like, see, yeah, now, like, I made a mistake. There's this hole here, and I have to constantly keep this hole in mind because, like, you know, mess up my jump and I fall in there, and like, you know, that could just, you know, mess with positioning to just keep the ball, like, you know, get the ball, you know, going where I wanted to. It's interesting. It is definitely interesting. Other things that like I can like, you know, like personally, you know, may think, you know, may be a potential issues, but you know, I think that more of a case like I may just like see, like, you know, look for feedback and you see what people think. In fact, I may just do that with you at this very moment, Martini. So do you feel like the movement speed of the character is just right?
It's hard to tell. Maybe a bit slow. I don't know, really.
Because I did have ideas to like increase the movement speed of the character a little bit, at least in run mode. But you know, it is hard to like, you know, properly tell for now without, you know, looking to feedback.
Maybe a little bit increase in run mode. I would personally say, let's just to see how it feels. I would suggest.
Probably, yeah.
May not be a definite change, but it's just you may want to test it out and see if it's better.
True. The second thing I can ask for additional feedback is, you know, is the ball speed at wave 1, you know, good?
I think it's good. Personally speaking, I don't think. I think for the wave 1, it's good. I don't think you have to change.
That's fair. I only ask because I do see this potential idea that the wave 1 ball may just be a little too slow for some people who, like, you know, let's say they like mess up, they get to wave 1 again, and like, you know, they have to deal with this super slow ball, you know.
They can always make it a bit more faster as well, so
it's just a thought, you know, that this is the like thing that you have to do a lot as a game designer, which is like, you know, you pretty much have to like constantly look at feedback and like see what different people think about your product. And then like, you know, you just take the feedback that you get and like, you know, see, okay, is this like worth changing or can I just like, you know, do something else, you know? That is pretty much like, you know, just what it takes to be a game designer, which is like not only your capability to make something, but also to like, you know, listen to people and like, you know, see for yourself what needs changing. Because again, you have to keep in mind that you are making not just a game just for yourself. You're making a game for people to play.
Yeah.
And so one of the most important things as a developer is that being able to take feedback and make tells on about what to add and what to exclude and all that. Feedback is honestly rather important, as a developer. Although sometimes listening to feedback too much can also be a detriment.
Could be. Yeah.
Because I can say this, something that I learned from the olden days, about where, the weird era of the internet at around 2007, I do believe. Sonic 06, kind of gets happened. There's a lot of speak about Sonic around that time, and a lot of people on YouTube are screaming something about Sonic is all about speed. So then, so then the Sonic team immediately went, okay, let's just make Sonic all about speed. And so Sonic Unleashed happened with its boosting formula, and people loved it until recently people started getting tired of it.
Sonic Unleashed, it's the furry Sonic one.
Yes, that one. So, that is a little, aspect of, okay, they definitely listen to, feedback. However, was it, a good call or not?
Yeah, it's rather actively people were actually hating that shit. And here's here's also the thing as well. A lot of the not everyone is gonna agree with each other when it comes to games.
Exactly.
Some people think Sonic is all about speed. Some people think it's too much of the speed thing is a bad thing, so it should be more balanced. You have different type of people that have different inputs. So that's also something to be mindful of. Your fan base will not align with you with each other. There's even very much. There's a lot of discussion when it comes to Sonic in the fandom. I've noticed.
Exactly. You don't say. So yeah, that's one thing I can say though, on that front, which is that the fact that listening to feedback is important, but it's also important that you listen to the right feedback, or just make up the feedback as you think is best for your project, because it's this may be a hot take, but this is the way I see it. Bowing your head to your players, when it comes to today's feedback, it's the wrong way to do it. Which, may not be the most, appropriate, just may not be the most, publicly acceptable thing to do. Because, go to, any sort of game design school and, they just will constantly tell you, you need to listen to the feedback. You need to, take the feedback and, do, fixes to, ensure that, find the problems with your game that you were not able to find as a developer. However, listening to the wrong people will lead to, your game could go off the, path you intended for it and become something else that you probably didn't want it to become. Or two, you could just, essentially just, fix one aspect of the game, but then just make it worse for, the rest.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, especially if you are an indie, developer, I think the most important thing is that, you need to have your, big vision about, okay, what do you want your game to be? And like, while listening to feedback may be good, sometimes, for some case of feedback, it is like better to just ignore some.
Yeah, so it really depends in what type of place it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
But
Most
yeah,
definitely.
but I do believe like listening to feedback can actually be crucial though.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
definitely crucial. However, you should not like blindly listen to them. Just like take all the feedback as like okay, like these are like things that the game needs pronto. Like you need to like take them, consider like what is like ultimately more healthier for the game, and just go with that.
Yeah. Because not listening to feedback will actually lead you to become like Roblox.
Exactly.
David Bazuki is like a prime example of that. They have to force their his actual hand in order to make him change his mind.
Yep.
Like he's very stubborn, and that stubbornness is gonna definitely cost him. It's already causing him problems with his platform.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
True.
not listening to feedback, you can say David Bazuki is successful. Well, you might want to look into the scandals of what his platform has embroiled in.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the thing to know about feedback is that feedback is like important ultimately for like any game.
Mm-hmm.
But also you have to like be mindful about what feedback you take.
Yeah.
And like just implement on it or fix. Because surely, like the feedback about just add a gun to like every game won't work, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I just add a gun to Boblox Boll.
You know what? That will be funny.
I'm not sure of what the gun would even do, but
Maybe you can
could do
insert
that.
enemies that will fuck with you, and then you have to shoot those with your gun.
Oh no.
There's like noobs trying to attack you, and then you have to shoot them. Meanwhile, trying to control the ball.
At that point, it may just become Toho 1 at that point.
Well, don't want. Well,
Which,
oh my god.
Fun fact about Toho 1. Toho 1 is also a breakout clone.
Oh,
Very interesting one.
how about just make a bullet hell Roblox game, or like fan game?
At that point, better Roblox 1.6 may just be like a shoot 'em up at that point.
Shmup.
A shmup.
A shmup game.
Better Space Explorers, except it's just a good Gradius clone.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the final boss is a big head of Martini's avatar.
Exactly.
You shoot him once and you win. He does nothing. He will just laugh at you.
Oh.
And then you purge him.
Final boss is just Martini's head with like two hands, then like detach from his head that he just tried to swipe at you with.
Or just make it the most easiest boss ever, like that one on that one Gradius game.
Something of that sort. Also, you can probably guess, what sort of joke I made on that front.
What?
Floating head, like floating hands alongside the head.
Handros.
Yes.
That could also be interesting. How about Star Martini? And just make a Star Fox clone.
That means I have to learn 3D in development, which, granted, I probably could. I have some ideas how to do that, but,
Just shoot it, Star Martini! It's basically just a parody of us. And then I'm actually somehow the butt of the joke.
somehow, some way.
Somehow the main protagonist is the butt of the joke. And whenever something always goes wrong in those missions. That is something that will be interesting as a concept.
Definitely would be something interesting on that front.
Oops, I'm the clone now.
Well, could be. Actually, that also could work as like a better Roblox thing as well. Rather than like a Gradius clone, could also just make it like a vertical shooter. Which the first thing you'll probably mention is just Twinbee at that point.
Oh yeah, Twinbee. Merdsbee.
Better Roblox on 1.6. You just play as this like bacon hair without the bacon hair, except like you just flying some stage, wielding a gun and just shoot noobs that just fly towards you.
Yep. Twinbee clones.
It's the same Tetris every time, so it'll get boring. Josh, this is peak gaming. You just don't understand.
How about better Roblox but Tetris? Well, fun fact about Roblox, there was actually like a Tetris event back in 2008. Like, you can actually earn some hats by, doing that event. By beating some, score or something levels. Yeah, somebody actually, made a competent Tetris game, and yeah, you can actually, you could actually earn some hats back in the day. It was actually very fun to do.
Neat.
Yeah, it was at the time that your account was deleted. Not too long ago.
Chat is apparently saying Martini used son of a domino crown.
You Martini.
I don't know what his problem is, but apparently I guess he has beef with you or something. Roblox fans are weird. I don't like them.
They do be like that.
Well, I'm bored, yeah. Well, I don't care. I want to play my thing.
Yeah, I want to play this game that my friend has made in 3 days.
It is like better than like actual Roblox, so you're not. No.
It's also free, so you can actually download this shit.
Exactly, it's free. You can play this, for yourself if you want to, or if you don't like it, then take it elsewhere.
Free games in this economy? That's balls,
Exactly. Absolute balls. Dang it.
Absolute balls. Yep. like this ball. You have to bounce. You know what? I should bring this.
Wave 7. Oh boy. This okay. At least I can get on, you know, relatively easy pattern. Yeah, and yeah, that's like something this game definitely could use more of, which is like more patterns to work with.
Yep. True that.
Because even though the ones I added are fine, granted, you know, for like an April Fool's thing, it is like enough, but it definitely could use more.
More variation, yeah, and some more, you know, some other features.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
though for, you know, like, you know, 3 days, this is a pretty solid, you know, prototype, if anything.
yeah, very solid indeed. I like it. I like playing this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And to think that we've been at this for like over an hour now.
True that. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because I have autism. I'm actually more inclined to play this shit. It's more like a STEM thing.
I guess that's fair because, you know, well, that's the sort of thing about these sort of, you know, games, which is the fact that it is essentially like an endless, you know, thing, meaning like, you know, like, even if you fail once, you can just quickly hop back into it.
True.
That's a sort of beauty that I like of these things that I think like more games should aim to do more, which is like, you know, make it like, you know, kind of, like more replayable.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. Man, I've been replaying Terraria a lot.
Would imagine.
There are so many features. Like I've been actually beating the. I've actually beaten the you know, Skyblock seed on that one. It's very. I really like how you have to approach that that game in Skyblock. I've yet to. I've yet to play Legendary mode.
Oh boy.
Oh, imagine us playing Legendary mode.
Oh boy. Now that would be something.
Yeah, it's just like hard as hell.
Oh yeah. One more thing I can also mention for like, you know, developer, you know, speak about this one. And it is once again related to the background. So I specifically showed colors that, you know, like, you know, I knew for certain would just, you know, not like, you know, cause any sort of issues where like, you know, like important elements could blur together with like, you know, with the background, you know, such as making the background like, you know, kind of look like, you know, having the same colors as the character nor the ball. I did keep that in mind as I made the backgrounds to make sure that, you know, like, it is as clear as possible. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that is like a little hard thing, like, you know, potentially for some to understand, but it is essentially like, I've been taught like one way you can like, you know, kind of look at it is that, you know, so if you were to like kind of squint at the screen, like, and like, you know, just squint at the game screen, can you make out where your character are on the screen? You know, like over the background. If the answer is yes, then you've done a good job.
I guess it's visible enough.
Yeah, to make sure that your character is clearly visible on the screen, regardless of what. So yeah, that is something I did, you know, keep in mind when making all of the backgrounds. To ensure that, like, I don't use anything that, like, could cause major confusion on that front. Which, granted, for the characters, you know, like for the character design itself, it does help in that front because of two reasons. One, he uses both black and white.
Yeah.
Meaning, in most occasions, he is very clear to see on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, that will be interesting if you add customizations on that character.
I
So
can see that. I probably couldn't at the very least add hats, and I'll see about like anything else, but you know, that may be for a different time.
mhm.
Still though, yeah. This whole thing made in like 3 days. And it most definitely was a journey. I can say though, you know, for certain that, you know, the moment I was done with this project, you know, yesterday, I most definitely had like a little headache from like, you know, just, you know, fixing a few things that like maybe go, dude, what the fuck is this?
Man, you've been working your ass off by
You,
doing this as
you
a
don't,
April joke.
you don't say.
Boblox.
Boblox Boll.
Boblox Boll.
Also, can you even guess the reason why, you know, it gets called Boblox?
Copyright.
That, and also, it is Roblox, but it's better. Because it starts with the same, you know, letter as better.
Yep. Just why not call it
Better?
Boblox? Better Roblox.
Better Roblox. Although, better Roblox 2 will happen some point. But, you know, we'll see what becomes of that one when we get there.
Better Roblox 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Exactly. And another spoiler for everyone. It may or may not involve space.
Yep. Yeah, you're going to space.
You're going to orbit.
You stupid moot. Yeah, you're going to orbit with this one.
Most definitely.
Oh, look, the
I think I
Roblox
can
character.
do, like, one more, like, you know, round of this, you know, until I die. Then, like, you know, I may just, like, we may just hop over to the next part of the stream as I go grab some coffee before then as well.
Yep.
I can probably prepare another thing I can show off, you know, before we hop over as well. As a little, like, just, you know, bonus showcase. Which, you know, yeah. This is, like, always a little fun thing to just show off. Because, like, if there's something I do find a little interesting to, like, watch, you know, like, you know, like, especially on YouTube, it's like, you know, people who, like, you know, kind of, like, you know, look into things that were excluded from a game that, you know, did not make the cut. I do find stuff like that kind of interesting.
Also, I got the developer background.
Of course you did. You got the dev background, like, you know, the one without any sort of background, and with the visibility on the, like, you know, solid objects, you know, re-enabled.
Yep. There's like access on these boxes on the border.
Yep. Because they are, you know, test, you know, like sprites I made just to, you know, test, you know, collision. So yeah. Game development. It's most definitely a thing. Well, that's a miss. Good job, B.
Yeah, a friend of mine has actually made a prototype of a board game, and he's been also working on a virtual version of that one as well.
Neat. That does remind me something I can say that I learned from my game design course. Overseas, which is the fact that fun fact about game prototyping, even virtual games, you usually start with like some sort of prototype, usually something that resembles a board game, before you get around to developing the proper game, so that every developer on board gets the idea what the game is gonna be about.
Yep.
Meaning for game development, board games is important to know about. Believe it or not. So yeah, doing those courses, I have had to not just play a bunch of board games, but even make some myself.
Cool.
They were rough prototypes, prototypes though, but they were still board games ultimately. So I did do that. I do have a idea about how to make a board game. It is a lot of work, but hey, you can do that.
Yeah, it will be fun playing those board games. Like some game companies actually, or game devs actually, have released the board game versions of their game.
Mm-hmm. True that.
Stardew Valley has one, or is in the making. I'm not sure if it's released or not.
That also reminds me, one of my tutors, in one of my professors over there, he actually, at the moment is a board game, designer alongside a teacher on that school as well. He does have a rather interesting history as well, as he has not only worked on the original God of War, and then worked on the Maximo games, which, I think the Sunga knows about. But also, one of his, probably more well-known, video game projects is, and this one is a little hard to believe. He's the lead designer of the original Pac-Man world for PlayStation 1.
Cool.
So yeah, that's a little fun fact for you. Shout out to Scott Rogers.
Shout out to him.
He was definitely a very cool teacher to have. So yeah, there you go. I've been taught by the very game lead designer of Pac-Man World 1 for PlayStation 1. Crazy, isn't it?
Indeed so.
And I lose.
That noob.
I know. You lose.
Still on the developer background area. After this one... Oh, I just died.
Okay, before we hop over, I will do the one thing I did say I could do. So I'll just copy over some image files from my other computers. I can show them off. So give me a brief moment as I hop over here and then just grab them. In this folder, yes. This is the folder. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
He says
Copy
6,
all
7.
of those. Let's see. Is that in? Can I drop them in here? Sure. Name the just folder Bob.
Bob.
I'm sure that won't be confusing at all. Just Bob. Bob as in Boblox.
Boblox.
I do this. Then we hop over to this folder because one of the image files ended up on this folder for some god darn reason. I'm not sure why, but I do it last. And some weird stuff in that folder too. Let's not speak too much about that. I do this. Right, there we go. And then we hop right over here. Eject this one. Did you check the DMs? I did check them very briefly, and what else can I even say? Then, yep, those are definitely. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, this is those are definitely things that could be implemented. Oh boy. If I decide to update this game, boy, will it be a lot of change, like a lot of things added.
Yep.
Let's add this. Let's make a new folder in here. Boblox.
Boblox. It's free.
It's free. There we go. There's all the files. Now let's save the eject, the USB. Yup. Put that one aside. And now it's time to show off some, a little work in, a little behind the scenes, work that was done. Let's see here. Let's grab the image, a new image source here. Game BG. Let's name that. Browse right over here, and we're gonna need to find the folder here. So, first of all, let's grab the sky background really quickly. There it is. Let's make sure it's like above chat. Actually, let's make sure it's like above everything else. Like, below everything else I meant. So, here's the, proper game background, of this, a little sky thing. See?
Mm.
So, that's just how it looks there. Now, I have the file of, the non-blurred version, which, just looks like this.
You just squabble some things on it.
Yep, I just scrabbled some, things onto this one. And then all I needed to do afterwards was just, drop it into a different program so I can make it blurry, and then presto. You got something resembling a sky.
What funny enough with Paint.net, you can actually generate skies and make it blurry like that. There's also that's something you can do with Paint.net. You can just render skies.
Neat. So yeah, there's that one. I can show off now. Let's go over to the one I personally do dub the Void, or Martini dubbed the Shadow Realm, which looks like this. All purple ominous, place. Let's hop right over here and just, go to the non-blurry one.
Yep.
It looks like this. Again, random like squabbles here and there, which when like blurred, becomes like this. It's rather interesting how you can make like something look a particular way with like really easy methods.
Yep.
So let's go over to the background of the title screen, which looks like this. Like some sort of bluish background. Which, it's neat. However, the non-blurry one looks like this, which you can probably make some guess what this is supposed to resemble.
Rainy clothes? I don't know.
Just cloudy night sky.
Okay.
Which, when blurred, like, yeah, you can see the vision.
Yep.
And then we get to the interesting one that I guess, like, just decide to go, you know what? This one is, like, for the people who, like, just, like, think a little too hard about these sort of things. This fiery background.
Yep.
Which, when you stare deep into this one, what does this look like to you?
A lot of flames.
A lot of flames. The non-blurry one looks like this. It is exactly what you think it is.
Yep. Yeah, if it's not blur, it looks like more crappier than when it's blur. It looks like, legit.
Exactly. Like, again, with like simple techniques, you can make something actually look kind of appealing.
Yeah, you can do that. You don't actually have to put much effort into backgrounds. If you just use a blur, it'll do.
And so, with this background, we can now officially say that the playable character of this game, most definitely went to hell before he died.
Mm-hmm. That's some deep lore of this character. Should we actually, develop some lore of this, this Roblox character?
We'll just leave that for the, like, game theorists out there.
But that's just a theory. A game theory.
Anyways, moving on, we get to, this green background, which, this one is, like, what's the, like, hardest to, like, just, kind of tell what it's supposed to, like, kind of resemble?
Look, I would guess a jungle.
That is the intention I went for, because it just looks like this. Outside, like, non-blurry.
Yep.
Which, you can make a guess about it being a jungle, maybe a forest. When
something
blurred,
like that.
Like, when blurred, yeah, you can make a guess of it being a jungle.
Yeah, this is something I was thinking about.
And then lastly, we got, this one, which, is probably the most clear one, at least to me, what it's supposed to resemble.
Bubbles!
Bubbles! Which, if I were to do this really quickly... Look how simple these bubbles look.
Yeah. And if you blur it, it looks like real, like, polished bubbles. And you look now like this. And this doesn't look polished at all.
Looks like actual, like, bubbles. It looks like you're actually in, like, deep sea.
Yeah, it actually works.
It just works. I'm not sure how, but it just works. And I kind of, like, find that really interesting.
Anyways, I died again.
Oh.
You lose.
So, which one of these backgrounds is your favorite?
I would say the bubbles.
I do think those one came out, like, probably the best too. They're probably my favorite as well. I do like the purple void one and the fire one myself.
Yeah,
As
the fire one is my second favorite. That one is also very very good.
hmm definitely gives off this like the intention of that one kind of came out well, which is the fact that it is my initial intention was just A, make it look appealing enough, and B, give out this weird liminal just feeling of make it abstract enough that you can interpret the backgrounds in many different ways. Where is this fire background? Is it just inside of a volcano? Is this just hell? Is this no, what is this? You know?
Hmm.
That was the goal of this. Just make it abstract enough that people can have different interpretations about what the background is supposed to be. And I think I succeeded. I most definitely think I succeeded on that front. Oh, and also, yeah, if I were to go back to the title screen, yep, there's a background.
Yeah, the night background.
And of course, the music that we all know.
Super Mario All Stars! Yahoo! Because you don't have any music that is
Yep,
legal.
I cannot make music worth a darn.
I can make the music with this.
Also, fun fact about just the music of this game. I spent a total amount of 1 hour looking for music to use.
You just rip it on off the internet and then just paste it on that.
Yep. Out of all of the development time spent on this game, at least an hour of that time went into looking for music.
And you just rip some Mario music.
Yep. The first one is from Super Mario All Star. The second one is from Wrecking Crew 94, I think it was, or 98. Actually, I can check that now. Wrecking Crew 98. Okay, it is called 98, which, it's a very interesting game, that one. So, have you played the original Wrecking Crew?
I have played it on the Nintendo Virtual Console, so yeah.
The original Wrecking Crew or the Super
NES.
Nintendo one?
The
Okay,
NES, yeah.
gotcha. Because I do believe Wrecking Crew 98 is on the Nintendo Switch Online service at the moment as well.
Oh, okay.
I think so. And that one is actually pretty interesting. It is granted Japan only, so do keep that in mind. But you probably can just go through it without understanding, needing to understand all the dialogue to at least enjoy the gameplay. Although there will be a bunch of dialogue that you will be missed, that you will miss out on. I think there might be a fan translation out there though, if you wanna go through it in the non-official way. But so there is that. Anyways, Wrecking Crew 98. It is normal Wrecking Crew, but added a little Puyo Puyo into the mix because it has a versus component involving destroying blocks.
Hmm.
Meaning this has a versus mode. You know what that means?
Mm.
We could stream this one sometime.
We could. We can wreck.
We can wreck. On top of that,
On top.
considering that we just played this game, Boblox Boll, Anton Ball stream when?
Good question.
Top of that, Anton Blast when?
Good question.
Maybe we'll do that and do any of those two Next Wednesday, whenever Lopez is not around.
Could be a thing, yeah.
Definitely could be a thing. And then of course, Wreck-It Crew 98 couldn't go do well as in like little fun one-off thing as well. And
Yep.
with that, I think that will do it for the Boblox Boll section. Like we've been at this one for like almost 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours of Boblox Boll.
Boblox Boll.
Yep. What do you think about this one, everyone? Leave a comment on that. I think I will. I think I should, redirect the link in the description of this video if I don't forget.
If he doesn't forget, that is.
But you can also check Fleskhjerta's channel for that as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
this game is free to download.
This game is free. I made this in like 3 days. I may or may not update it, with more content in the future. I will see about,
Yeah.
updating it, but
Yeah. We'll see if there's more interest of this.
we'll see if there's like more interest. But I was given plenty of ideas for like stuff that can be added later on.
Yep.
So I got plenty of work with. It's just a case about okay, when just I think at this point it's just a question about when. When will I do it? When will it come out?
Yep.
So stay tuned for that. And who knows? I may have some other game ideas that like probably could just be brought up on stream later on as well. I have some ideas. I will probably just mention them off stream because don't want to spoil the magic too soon.
Yeah.
So there's that. Anyways, I'm gonna need a quick coffee break, so I'll just pull up the BRB screen, and then I will see you guys once I'm back. So be right back.
Yeah, this is gonna be end of the video. Thank you all for watching. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and do all this good stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. And leave some feedback if you want more content for this, and perhaps Fleskhjerta may or may not put some new stuff in this one. Who knows? If there's more interest, keeps them motivated. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Adios amigos. Subscribe for more gaming content. Yeah, subscribe. Subscribe now. Do it.